Ooh, it's Friday the 13th.
It's Friday.
Does anybody really even lay into that anymore?
A lot of people.
I know. Yeah, I take it back. I'm a numbers type of guy. You know, we'll always get. Seems like my wife and my daughter, they're always talking to each other, and they just happen to look down. It's always like 11:11.
Oh, you've told me that before.
You know,
yes.
It seems like that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people have that triskaideka phobia thing.
You know, I'm going to tell a story. We're going to ask superstitions later, but my dad, he'll never book the 13th seat on a plane.
Okay.
He doesn't like it.
If you had the choice,
Yeah,
that is.
so he'll never sit on the 13th
Well, you know,
seat.
there's another reason why, like buildings, if they're taller than 13 stories, they don't have a 13th floor. It goes automatically from 12th to 14th.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But first of all, I just want to say thank you for yesterday.
Well, I was about to ask, how'd the rest of your birthday go?
It went good. It went good. So I got a special shout out during Morning Mix. My friends Joe, Zana, and Cliff. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
That was very sweet.
You don't look a day over 64. I mean, you make
Can
64
I throw
look
this
good.
iPad at you?
There's my Friday the 13th going. All right, there you go.
All right. So maybe let's talk again about the Friday the 13th.
13th, yes.
So maybe you refuse to open an umbrella.
Right.
Inside your house or walk under a ladder that's on a sidewalk. But do you know why this unlucky day got such a bad reputation?
Well, it's hard to know exactly when Friday the 13th became thought of as unlucky, but it likely comes from the Christian religion. For example, in the Bible, Judas, a person who is said to have had betrayed Jesus, was the 13th guest at the Last Supper.
So it's also possible that 13th is considered cursed because it's the number after 12, which many people see as a number that completes things. Think about it. 12 months are in a year, 12 inches in a foot, and 12 pairs of ribs in a body.
12.
So it's possible the number 13th makes people uneasy because it causes them to think about the unknown beyond the number 12.
So does that mean you don't like a baker's dozen? Because that's 13.
Yeah, maybe some people don't.
I'm just throwing it out there. 12 beers in a 12 pack. I mean, hey, that's the lucky one. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But yeah, here's some story behind of the unlucky number.
Right.
But do you have any superstitions? I told about my dad.
Do I have any superstitions? I think, well, I do theater from time to time. And, there's always the whole thing, if you have a bad grand dress rehearsal, you'll have a good opening night. Okay, so yeah, probably I think that sometimes. But as far as like any other superstitions, not really.
I do try to avoid to walk under a ladder. That's all. That's the only thing.
That's probably just smart, so you don't have anything fall on you. But yes, and I don't want to break a mirror. I mean, but that's just because who wants to clean up that kind of mess? You'll get messed up, right? Anyway, moving on from that, McDonald's, speaking of while we're still in the Halloween, October area, McDonald's will release Boo Buckets. 4 different styles ahead of Halloween. The plastic buckets are going to replace that regular paper packaging that comes in the kids' Happy Meals during the rest of the year. They'll come in mummy, skeleton, monster, and vampire. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
They're cute.
Yeah, they are cute. I mean, you can still be an adult and get a kid's meal, right? A Happy Meal, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You should be able to do that. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd get one of those.
And maybe give it to a kid, or would you use that to trick or treat?
I would use that to trick or treat, exactly. Well, I would actually probably have to have 2 because I'm...
One for your Reese's Cups.
Well, 1 for each hand, but yes. One of them will be filled with Reese's Cups, absolutely. Hey,
so how old is too old to trick or treat?
I'll let you know, because I mean... No, seriously, my kids are gone. They're out of the house now, but... I mean, I'll grab a neighbor's kid and go down the street with them. I don't care. Come on, kid, let me show you how it's done.
So every year we have this question, like we see this question, right? How old is too old? I don't know.
As long as you're not being creepy
Yeah.
I think everything's fine. But I mean, just don't expect to be able to walk up to somebody's door at 45 years old going, trick or treat. You know, draw your line at some point, but just enjoy it, have fun, is all I'd say.
Or you can do an adult trick or treat.
Well, there's that too.
With the alcohol.
Yes.
I've seen that. It's
Doesn't
fun.
have to be, yeah.
I've done that.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes. Well, you might be getting a snippet of what our Halloween episode is going to be like here. Let's see about that. Hey, if you live in Grovetown and if you have a spooky house, officials want you to enter it in their spooktacular Halloween home contest.
That's right. The winner could get a pot of Halloween candy and yard sign proclaiming you as the winner.
All right. So if you're interested in signing up, we've got more details on our website. You can check it out at WRDW.com. That's cool that they're doing that.
That's cool, right?
You know, we used to do like tacky light tours for Christmas time and holidays. I would love for somebody to actually come up and like do a tour where you could just check out all the Halloween and fall festive decorations, because a lot of people put a lot of time into that.
Yes. Yeah, they put a lot of work into it.
Oh, yeah. Give them little props, okay?
Yes. All right, coming up this Saturday, something will be happening in the sky that we won't see until 2046. We'll tell you all about it after the break. Well, tomorrow you can experience a dazzling celestial event that is known as the Ring of Fire.
That's right. And if you miss it, well, you're going to have to wait all the way until 2046 to catch it again. I had the chance to speak with the director of the Ruth Patrick Science Education Center at USC of Aiken, Dr. Gary Senn, and he gave me all the details that you need to know. Check this out. Let's start with the basics on this. What is an actual eclipse?
So an eclipse occurs when some body passes between two others. So in this case, the moon will pass between the sun and the earth. The moon will cast a shadow on the earth, and the people who are in that shadow will see the eclipse.
Okay, and then it would just be vice versa, but the difference between a solar versus a lunar eclipse.
Exactly.
There you go. See,
Look at that. I'm impressed.
I know. I'm a quick learner right there. So now this one is being called the Ring of Fire. Why that name, and how many different types of eclipses are there?
So that name is called because when the eclipse occurs, there's a ring of the sun all the way around the moon. Mm-hmm. The moon has different distances from Earth during its monthly cycle around us. So sometimes it's closer, sometimes further away. If it's further away, it appears a little bit smaller to us. And when it's a little smaller, it's smaller than the size of the sun, and you see that ring around it. When it's closer to us, it blocks the entire sun, and we see a total solar eclipse. So this is called an annular eclipse, which gives us the Ring of Fire. Okay.
And now, was the one in 2017 also an annular eclipse?
No, that was a total eclipse that we got to see right here close by in the CSRA.
Okay. So along those lines, what are our chances of getting a good view of this eclipse on Saturday?
Well, there are two issues. One is the cloud cover. We need some work on that. And the other is the actual Ring of Fire will be over on the west part of the U.S. So Texas over to the coast. Here we'll see about a 50% eclipse, which is still a magnificent thing to see.
Right. So now, speaking of viewing, we've always heard you do not look directly into the sun. You also don't do that for an eclipse too, correct?
That is correct. Right. Only during a total eclipse and only when the sun is totally blocked out can you remove any safety glasses that you have.
Okay, so what are some safe ways to view it?
We will have a number of things on the lawn at the Ruth Patrick Science Ed Center, again, provided that there is some sun available. But there are...
Looking at you, Tim.
There are certified glasses. You need to be careful. There are people who sell things that are not very protective, so make sure that they're certified. You can also do indirect viewing. So you came up with a good one right before we got here. You take your hands, you make a little hole with them like this, and don't look through your hands like that.
Don't do what I did.
Do it this way where the sun's behind you, and then through your hands it'll put a little hole, and the light will show on the ground with the partial eclipse.
See, Tim's even going over the Well, yeah, right? What you learn here on Morning Mix. Now, I think NASA's also going to be doing some type of viewing with it as well that you can get online and check it out?
That is correct. So we will actually have NASA TV, but anybody else can do that too. And they'll have sites all along the path of of the annularity, the Ring of Fire, to show that actually happening. So there are enough sites available so that no matter where maybe one place will have cloud cover, there should be a place that will have good visibility.
For people that have not visited or experienced what you have at the Ruth Patrick Science Education Center. Tell us quickly a little bit about it.
Sure. A big thing that we do is have students come on field trips. So we have students there today, and any day during the year you'll likely see students. We do summer camps. Our planetarium is open on evenings, on Saturday evenings for the general public. And then we do special events like an eclipse.
Like this. I love the planetarium part of it as well. Definitely want to check that out too. Let's recap it again. When do we know the exact times of the eclipse and when we might be able to see it?
So we have a website, usca.edu/eclipse, and that has all the details. But basically, a little before 12 to around 2 is the prime time. It extends a little beyond that, a couple hours.
All right, check that out. Again, usca.edu/eclipse, all the information there. And be sure you check out the stuff happening at the Ruth Patrick Science Education Center. Dr. Gary Senn, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it much.
Glad to be here.
Always cool to be talking with Gary on that, and so many things that they do at the Science Center there too.
Yeah.
Check out the planetarium if you ever get a chance. But yeah, hopefully clouds will be gone and we can at least catch a 50% estimation of this eclipse.
That would be super cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully the clouds will let us see the eclipse.
All right. Fingers crossed. All right, coming up, we've got all the info on the upcoming Pop Walk, or People with Parkinson's Walk. That's happening this Saturday, where you can help support people with Parkinson's disease. More to come here on Mix It 3.
The 24th annual Pop Walk, or People with Parkinson's Walk, is happening tomorrow at First Baptist Church of Augusta, an event to share stories, laughter, tears, and education about Parkinson's disease.
That's right. I got the chance to speak with Logan Banks. He's president of the CSRA Parkinson's Support Group about the event. Take a look. So before we get into it, let's talk about what is a pop walk. I mean, we see the image here, but there's so much more that goes into it.
So it's the People of Parkinson's Walk. That's what the POP stands for. And it's really one of the only fundraisers that our group puts on that supports those not only with Parkinson's, but caregivers, families, and really brings awareness to a group that is kind of sorely lacking in the awareness that a lot of other causes get.
And this is the 24th year of this walk. How has this grown, for better or for worse, as far as numbers are concerned?
Well, our group was 34 years old, so 24 of those we've done this walk. COVID obviously hit us, and we went full virtual, and we're very surprised. Every year, we're surprised by the number of people that come out and the support that we get, and we just hope it continues to grow as it has over the years.
And to that point, you're having people register, but they can actually show up the day of the event if they want, right?
Yes, yeah, and the walk is free for everybody. If you donate $25, you get a T-shirt, but we encourage everyone to come. There's food for children and families, and we have some pretty unique sponsors and vendors. We have three-wheeled trikes for folks to try out, kind of a unique bicycle concept, so something for everybody.
So now what do the funds that raised from the Pop Walk go toward?
So our entire organization is completely volunteer-based. I'm a volunteer. Our entire board is volunteers. So every penny goes back into the community, back into the Parkinson's community. We sponsor research and also a number of programs like scholarships for different local gyms, because movement is very important for Parkinson's, and also respite care for those caregivers that might need a little break and want to go to a child's wedding, or just have a day off.
Well, and you bring up the caregivers. Let's talk about who's affected. It's not just the people that have Parkinson's, is it?
No, it's family members, it's caregivers, it's, even if you're not a caregiver or a family member that lives close, you have to watch kind of a family member decline, knowing that there's really no cure and nothing that you can do. So awareness is super important. And we really just want to highlight those that give their time and might not get anything back or any recognition for it.
So what is the best way that somebody can support a person with Parkinson's, whether it's a friend or a caregiver?
I bring awareness to it. Come to the walk. We do general meetings with different speakers and things to kind of educate yourself at Brandon Wild the fourth Tuesday of every month. You can, like I said, we're a fully volunteer-based organization, so come and ask us how you can help. We have jobs for everybody. So yeah,
we have a job for you.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and recap the information here for the upcoming walk.
So it is this Saturday. And registration starts about 9 a.m. The walk really kicks off at 10. So.
All right, and you can check that out. ParkinsonCSRA.org is where you can get more information on that and get signed up. Logan, appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Very cool.
Yeah, that event gets bigger and bigger every year. Unfortunately, you say that, but I mean, more and more people are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, so that number becomes much larger. But yeah, a great thing that they do. And again, like he says, that entire group is all volunteer. So all the proceeds will go back into the community to help Parkinson's research.
And it's good that you're doing something good for yourself and also supporting a good cause.
Absolutely.
So yeah, check it out. Coming up, we're going to show you how you can have a balanced week of training and work smarter, not harder. That's next here on Mix at 3.
Welcome back to Mix at 3. All right, so when it comes to health and wellness, the key word is balance. And you can work smarter, not having to work harder.
That's right. We got the chance to speak with our friend and fitness expert, Amanda Gyves, who showed us the science behind seniors fitness and some do's and don'ts. Check this out.
Work smarter, not harder. That's the words to live by, especially if you're trying to work out and be more healthy. And we have with us fitness expert and life guru and our friend Amanda Gyves. She is back with us today. Hey, Amanda, good to see you.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being back with us here.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the science. Senior fitness, do's and don'ts. So you want to work smarter, not harder, correct?
Yes. So our older adult population is living longer and being active so much longer these days. And the old kind of advice for seniors or anybody really from when they were younger was lots of cardio, lots of endurance training. And so someone who hasn't been active and, especially those who just didn't grow up being athletes or just physically moving, they feel like, they can't get healthy unless they're running because they think it's like an all or nothing kind of situation. So the good news is that the New England study of medicine, they did a study, and they found that endurance training isn't necessarily the best thing for active and older aging adults. They can overuse their joints and they can actually lead to overuse and injury. So the good news is that we don't have to work really hard. They don't have to be out there running, but they can be working more on resistance training. And the benefit of resistance training is that they can work in short stints that doesn't overexhaust them. It works their fast and slow twitch muscles so that, if the inevitable happens, we trip, we fall, we go to drop something and grab something quickly, we're less likely to get injured. But if injury or illness happens, when you've been more active, you're more likely to recover quicker. And it's not such a detriment if you do have an injury.
Okay.
All right, so for those who are still new to all this, let's give some examples of the resistance trainings that you mentioned.
They do encourage, during the week, like encouraging you to do some walking during the week. Just doesn't mean you have to walk, 5 miles 7 days a week. So if you've not been active, starting to, maybe walk a mile at a time, maybe 15 minutes at a time. It doesn't have to be specifically that far, but, getting used to moving quickly. You could start as, kind of going up 3 or 4 stairs as quick as you can, whatever your quickness is, and then walking down slowly, resting, and just doing that 2 to 3 times at first if you're just getting started. Something else you can do is, I have a chair that has some arms here. So getting up quickly from the chair and then sitting down slowly. Just doing that real quick. It uses the arms, it uses the core, it's functional strength. That's what's really important is, we don't need to be practicing something that's not really functionally necessary, but being able to get up and down from chairs. If you find that starts to get easier, you can do it, from a seated bench, maybe hold some resistance for a weight. Another functional thing that would be really helpful is being able to get down to the floor and getting off the floor, practicing that before there's a situation where we've fallen and now we can't get up. There used to be that commercial. And so if you're practicing getting onto the floor carefully and then getting up off the floor, moving side to side, like all of these things are the things that, happen inadvertently, like I said, kind of falling down the stairs and grabbing something. If you've already been practicing getting up quickly, your muscles are just more ready to help you do the things that naturally need to be done during the day.
Even if you're not a senior citizen, that's easier said than done.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and the good news is it's never too late to start. You can always start from where you are. You know, what we want to encourage is that aging doesn't have to mean a decline in our health, and that you can improve your fitness and your health, you know, muscle wise. Each week, look to do a little something, even if it's, you know, it's 10 sit down and get ups at a time. Maybe you do that once or twice a week and you can build it, but just doing it consistently, you know, small amounts of work over time are the best.
You've given us some great do's. What's a big don't that you want the seniors to take away with this?
I want them to not get discouraged, and not to look at the mountain of where they need to go, but look, you know, just a week ahead of like, what can I do this week? Keep the goals small. I recognize where you are and imagine the possibilities of what you can do. You know, before we started recording, we were talking about, I recently had knee surgery. Thing is, like, I couldn't compare myself to where I was before my knee surgery. I had to say, what can I do now? And just start from there. So it's, you know, it's baby steps. If you've not been walking at all, go for a 5-minute walk. Then once you can do that consistently, build it up to 10, because something is better than nothing.
There you go. Great points.
That's for sure.
It can be done.
Yeah,
Right.
it's work smarter and not harder.
Fitness expert Amanda Gyves, thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Always good to see
Great tip.
Amanda back. And she really is
know.
inspirational. If you follow her
Yes.
pages, then you'll know exactly what we're talking about with that.
I love the tips he gives. Yeah, and don't get like huge goals. Focus on the small things and keep going. Never stop.
Hey, Investigate TV Plus coming up, and then news first at 4 with the latest news from our area. Have yourselves a great weekend, guys, and happy Friday the 13th.
Thanks for watching.